Hello, hello. Thank you as always for joining me today. As you can no doubt guess from the stacks of cards in front of me, it is time once again to put away a bunch of photo cards for pretty much everyone that I collect into my various binders. I'm pretty much touching all my binders this time, and I thought I'd organize my stacks based on what binders I'll be touching rather than by group, since if you've watched my channel before, you know there's a little bit of overlap in a few of the binders. But today we are starting with Momo because I was not able to finish the strategy comeback before the end of last year, but I do have a good portion of the cards I need for this most recent Twice era. So we're gonna put them all away. And unfortunately, because I use these sparkly fancy sleeves, I have to do some on-camera re-sleeving for all of these, like so. It's been unfortunate with how things have been on Instagram for the last, I don't know, it feels like it's been like 2 years at this point. Maybe not quite, but it just feels like it's been a long time since Instagram changed how their tags and everything works, and it's really made trading very difficult. And so I've been having trouble getting all of the Momo cards I need. Trading for Twice used to be like the easiest thing on the planet. You'd get your album, you'd see what you pulled, and then immediately go on Instagram and start looking through the tags for who had what you need and needed what you had. So actually none of these were trades. These were all purchases because I didn't buy the main version, the main photo book version. But I do have some of these Nemos that I'm trying to trade, and it's been very, very difficult, basically impossible to find anything. But I do have this first page complete. And then what we have left until I get some Nemos and the Barnes & Noble is this one Target card. Eventually, ironically, my whole strategy for this page layout will become clear. But since I'm kind of jumping back and forth, you can't really see that I do have some sets in mind. I feel like what I'm going to have to do, honestly, is just buy the 2 missing Nemo cards and then just sell the ones I pulled on the back end. That's sort of what the so-called trading market has been like. You pretty much, you buy your albums, you sell what you don't need, and you buy what you do. And it's very sad and unfortunate. There are more in-person events lately. In fact, I've been going to some in-person events. I got a couple of those Momo cards from an in-person buy-sell trade event. I also have this, which is a Apple Music. It's the partner to this one. I think this was for Digipack, so this is like photo book. So I probably won't go this month, but maybe once I have all my Solgi stuff, I'll check it out again in April. It's been fun though, you know, meeting some new people who are local. I actually ran into another YouTuber who I didn't even know was as local as I thought. I knew she lived nearish, but she lives even closer than I realized. That would be Miss Fromis17. If you happen to have seen any of her videos, she's a very fun person to watch. But yeah, so it's been kind of nice, but it doesn't really change the fact that it's a little bit tougher these days than it used to be. Now we're taking a bit of a detour into the old LOONA binder. I'm always surprised when I have to bring out this binder. Every time I close it, I think, it's probably going to be one of the last times I ever open this binder on camera, and yet I keep finding reasons. So to start out, if you hadn't kind of noticed, I rethought my first couple pages because I wanted to do a top 3. I found these really awesome LOONA Studio Polaroids, which I've always loved, for a very good price online. And so I just thought that I would get them and make, like I said, a bit of a top 3 layout for this first little section. Don't go thinking this is a preview of things to come, because all of my collections are keeping me busy these days. Chief among them, Sulgi. She's gonna have a very busy year, it seems. But I don't know. I like dipping my toe in the water of collecting more than just Kim Lip. So we have these 2 LOONA Studio for the second page, and then I need the line up for both Heejin and Jinsol. And it allowed me to bring in my cool little LOONA stickers, if you remember that from an earlier version of this binder. But not much else to add except for one POB, which goes all the way back here. So we have this is DMC, and so she'll just go right in the back with the rest of these POBs, because this is a Flip That era POB, so I don't have to rearrange for any sort of comeback order. But yeah, there we go. Another little detour into the old LOONA binder. One day it will be the last time, but that day is not today. The real meat of the LOONA / ARTMS is going to be in the ARTMS binder. So I have quite a few objects to deal with. They've been kind of busy, and I have had some backlog to deal with, like this cherry, number 211. Very pretty, very sought after. I did not think I would get her before I got 207, but now that's the only one I have left. So I'll have to start hunting that down. And then we have a few objects for Miss Hustle, because they gave her little object packs for her little single, Fragile Things, her second solo single. And these are very pretty. I've sort of, I don't know what you want to say. Like, I haven't given up on collecting POBs. In fact, I have at least one POB to put away today, but I would like to focus more on collecting objects and collecting objects for more of the members. I can't really do it for things like Doll or now Burn. Burn, that single that's coming out, is going to have a bunch of objects for each member, and I can really only commit to Miss Lip, but things like Season's Greetings, concerts, and the like, I would like to have more objects. I just always kind of think they're very unique. I think they look cool, and I would much rather focus on those sorts of things than the seemingly endless parade of pre-order and fan sign cards. And even if I weren't collecting a bunch of objects, I would need to get this, since Cherry is holding a Switch Lite And some of you may know that I have a thing about collecting idols holding video game paraphernalia. That's why I have a couple Baekhyun cards. Alright, and then lastly, I have this Kimlip Pob in a baseball uniform. And there's actually two like this. I also ended up getting this at one of the local in-person trade events. And I'd been searching for any of them. They've been kind of hard to lay my hands on, so I was very happy to flip through someone's binder, and not only were they collecting ARTMS, but they had a card that I was missing. So as I said, I'm not done with collecting Kimlip Pobs and what have you, but there's just so many. It's hard to keep up with that I'm probably going to slow down substantially and just focus on the objects. And then in Ningning Land, I do have this card for Armageddon. I believe this is Barnes & Noble? I want to say this is Barnes & Noble. So still have a little bit more from older eras to get, mostly things like Barnes and Noble, but we're coming along with the Ningning collection. I know they've got a comeback somewhere on the horizon, but hopefully not too soon, because I need a bit of a break from them. And then lastly, we have this from the recent SM Town album. This is from the, I believe it's called the family version, the one that's just basically a deck of cards. And so my wife and I bought one of those versions. I kept the Ningning, she kept Key and Shotaro, and then I have some more Red Velvet as well that you'll see later. And then we've been trying to sell off the rest, because we don't need, you know, Kongta and Wish and all the rest. But that is gonna be it for this binder. If you haven't noticed, I upgraded my pages. They're some Meow Cafe. I really like how they feel. They're nice and sturdy and shiny, and I think they really improve the look of my binder. Alright, but here is where the real meat of this binder update is going to be. Where else but with Sulgi and Red Velvet. I have a huge stack of Red Velvet cards to deal with. Most, as you can probably guess, dealing with Sulgi, since she's my main of all my collections. I have a couple album cards in here, starting with Target for Cosmic. Finishing the Cosmic era, at least for actual album cards. And there we go. And I'm even somewhat set up for her second solo, all I think it's 11 cards, so I have 2 full pages just ready for her. I won't have those albums until April, personally, but they are ordered, and some of them are at my Korean address. And then I have this, which is also from the SM Town's family version. So there we go. I'll get the other main cards, including that tiny little one, eventually. I'm just, obviously, my hands are a bit full with everything else she's got going on at the moment. Alright, and then in this last little section, we've got most of what I will be collecting for Irene and her solo. So we have, let's see, 1 photo book. I have 2 case cards and 2 mirror cards. Even though she has, I think it's like 8 cards, maybe it's 9. No, it's 9. Wendy was the one who had 8, the weird number. Even though she has more cards, I just decided that I liked to do one 6-pocket page for all of these solos, so that is what we're doing. And I somewhat suspect, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'll be proven wrong, that Joy will probably have a solo comeback before the end of the year, since she has re-signed with SM, and shortly after Irene re-signed, she started getting a lot of stuff, including finally getting her solo debut. So, you know, I think this might be a year of solo and non-full group projects, because we already had the Accidentally on Purpose comeback for Solgi. We have Irene and Solgi having a comeback on the schedule. And then I do sort of think we're going to have at least one more solo before the end of the year. But that is it for this binder, but it's not it for Red Velvet. Oh no. No. There is a lot more Red Velvet on the way. But we are moving into smaller binders. This binder got a little bit of reorganizing off camera. You may recall it used to have my Solgi non-album stuff and some Red Velvet full stuff. Anyone who's not Solgi is just now, they're out of this. Solgi just takes up too much room. I don't know, honestly, how much longer she can stay by herself in here, but she may need more of a 6 or a 9 pocket for all of the pobs and the merch and what have you. But I did sort of change it so we have pobs in the front in one section, and then anything that's more merch, non-pre-order fan sign stuff in the second section. So we've got a lot of pobs to deal with. We've got Chill Kill and Cosmic stuff. We have some lucky draws to start us off. A bunch of these acquired from a friend of mine who does a lot of goes and what have you for Red Velvet and Solgi. Solgi's her main as well. So she often has extras, and if I've got the budget, and sometimes even if I don't, I'll take some off of her. Then we have these. These took about a year, I think, to get to me. This is this and this card are both Yiju for Chill Kill. Probably one of the worst goes I've ever taken part in. And it's funny because I won't name names, but I'd actually joined for Yiju for birthday with this person. And it took a long time, and there were some issues, but it all sort of worked out in the end. But at a certain point, he just sort of vanished. The group order manager just sort of disappeared, and somebody actually had to like step in and take it over, which was nice. It was nice that somebody was willing to do that and could manage all that, but it was not a fun group chat to be in. Let me tell you that. And then speaking of bad goes, I actually had to get this off of Pokemarket. This is Solgi's unboxing card for Cosmic, because even though I actually ran a go for Cosmic and the unboxing card version, ES24 did not include any of the cards for any members in the order, and they wouldn't, fix the order because I didn't have proof from my Korean address that they weren't in there, and it was a whole big thing. So I had to go through all that and then pay a little extra to just get the card. Oh well, what can you do? And now we're in the spot where, like, I'll probably put on screen what each of these cards are, but I literally do not remember. Other than this is probably like Star River. If they have Chinese on the back, it's probably Star River. But otherwise, like, I don't know where any of these are from. And so because I don't know where any of them from, I'm just sort of organizing them by outfit as best I can. I'll probably have to do reorganizing later once I have the rest so that they all kind of go together. Because I know I have some in here and probably in the binder already where the concepts match, but I don't have the cards yet. And there's this one. And this one, very cute. I actually ended up buying a fake of this one accidentally. I don't know if I've ever shown this on camera. I bought a fake accidentally on Mercari Japan of this card, and well, it was too late. So I just sort of put it in a photo card holder I had and hung it on my pegboard just for fun. You know, then I'm not worried about taking it with me places. If I were to ever, you know, take it with me. Maybe when I go to SM Town in a couple months. Which, by the way, I guess I should talk about that. I've got a few concerts either in my recent past or on the horizon. Before that, I have a couple holo cards. This is RBB. And a monster. Getting very close to finishing my holo card collection. But yeah, back in February, I went and saw TripleS down in LA. That was super fun. I just went down for the day, basically, because it was close enough and it was on like a 3-day weekend of all things. So I was able to just kind of fly down, grab a very cheap hotel, and go see them. In fact, I was like my hotel was like a block away from where they were. Up next, we have some Season's Greetings stuff. I actually bought this off of a new friend I made at a K-pop, at one of the K-pop trading events. It was actually a very good deal since I didn't buy the Season's Greetings this year. I bought the ARTMS instead. I try not to do more than one Season's Greetings. But I bought the whole Solgi set off of her. Actually, no, I didn't buy it. I traded. One of the few trades I got. I had some Irene postcards that she wanted, so we traded like 4 of those for the whole Solgi Season's Greetings set. But yeah, so I did that. That was super fun. I got to see Dahyun, my bias from TripleS. And then coming up, we have ARTMS in just like a couple weeks. They're going to be in San Francisco. And then my wife and a friend of ours are going to go see the SM Town concert in LA. Since at least I believe Irene, Solgi, and Joy should be there. And there's obviously lots of other groups we listen to. We figured we would go. Then last for this binder, we have 2 School of Oz cards. School of Oz, was it the hologram musical that Solgi and a few other SM artists at the time, like a couple EXO members are in it. I know Key is in it because my wife has some School of Oz cards. I think LOONA from FX is in it. Yeah, I've been kind of watching these cards for several months, and they finally got down to a price that I was like, I need to get this or I'll forever regret it. So got those, and then this is like super old. I just didn't have space at the time. This is like anniversary merch. So yeah, so that is, well, that is it for Solgi, finally. But we are still not done with Red Velvet. All right, and last of the photocard binders, this is my, like everyone else, my miscellaneous, my Yukika, my Starship. Now people like Extra Red Velvet and Twice members are in here, just because these little sections get pushed out by the main biases in the groups. So to start things off, I'm finally going to start my RBB set. Now that I finally have the Irene, I'll repeat my normal rule about collecting full sets for Red Velvet. I obviously would love more. Red Velvet is my favorite group, but Irene is very tricky. This card in particular was very tricky, and so even if I have cards from things like RBB, because I already had this Yeri or Finale, unless I can get an Irene that I like for a good price, I don't even start the sets, because I don't want to have like a gap, an Irene-shaped gap in my binder, kind of tempting me just to make bad financial decisions. And then, like I said, we bought the SM Town album, which came with a full set of cards. And so I have kind of, I don't know, not really intentionally, but I have unintentionally collected a new full group set. So there we go. And then I also have this cute card. It's one of Irene's unboxing cards for her solo, because I don't know. I think I bought an album, maybe the case version or something. I forget exactly how it worked, but I bought it off of SM Town, so I got this very cute Irene with the bunny. And that is it for Red Velvet, finally, at least for photocards. You'll see what I mean by at least for photocards in a moment. Then I have a couple Sola cards, couple Sola pre-order cards for her solo. Did I need to buy some Sola cards from her solo? No, I did not. But my wife and I were trying to fill out a Pokemarket order, and these were very cheap. I think they're adorable, and so I bought a couple cards that I probably didn't need just to help fill out that order. And I'm not mad about having them. I have a couple other pubs, so it's not unprecedented. And then lastly, we talked about TripleS earlier. I have a couple Dahyun cards. This is from the most recent... This is the most recent? Yeah, the most recent season's greetings, and from the concert I went to. Again, like I said with ARTMS, I'm very into the look of objects, so I'm very, very okay with having more objects. I say that having just been bombarded with Object Music album stuff in the last couple months, which I was a little less happy about, I'll be honest, for both TripleS and ARTMS. But at the end of the day, it'll be fine. They'll look good in some binders. I'll be very happy. Okay, so that is it for photo cards. If you don't want to see some postcards, you can feel free to bounce now, but I do have a few more Red Velvet larger items that I'll be tackling next. All right, and then the binder that just barely fits into frame, my larger, mostly postcard binder. So, as I said, I do have a kind of a smattering of additions to this. I don't know, maybe because I'm mostly caught up with photocard size things. There's obviously more to get, but since I have a lot of photocard things already, I kind of wanted to spend some time on slightly larger items. So that's exactly what I did. I'm backfilling some old merch postcards for older eras. I have, let's see, I've got some Rookie, I've got Russian Roulette, this is Red Summer, some Perfect Velvet, and then some Monster. So, and then I also have the little standees that go with those holo cards. But yeah, so we have a couple Rookie postcards. I always have to remember she's actually like kind of sitting upside down, or laying. Not really sitting, she's laying upside down. Did I do that right? Oh, who remembers? Who cares? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I did that. I did that correctly. And then we have some Russian Roulette. I love, as people know, I love Orange Hair Sulgi. So I pretty much get all the Rookie stuff. Very nice. And then, like I said, we have Red Summer. And the Perfect Velvet, which has the same little peekaboo box stuff. I should have shown you the little Red Summer, all fruity. Like so. I don't usually put away big stuff on camera anymore, but I have so much right now that I figured I could justify it for the, you know, the 3 people who might actually care. Very nice. And then lastly, we've got a couple standees that come with my holo cards. We have RBB and Monster. So do Monster first. I think, yeah, could do like so. And then this one we'll do like, there we go. There we go. All right, like so. I promise I won't do this every time, but like I said, I had quite a lot of stuff that I felt like I could justify at just this once. All right, well, thank you as always for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Either way, you can always help me out by doing the normal YouTube stuff, and I hope to see you all again very, very soon. So long.